Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to be breaking down how to play Clubhouse just like my other videos where I kind of go through and break down just default holds that you can do on each map. This is going to be another one of those type of videos where I just go through and do just basic defensive holds for three sites. I know a lot of people have been wanting me to do attack holds, and that's really cool, and I wish I could. It's just with attacking, it's a lot of situational things and a lot of variables that come into it. So it's really hard to try to incorporate those into the videos. I can try to put one together for you guys because it seems it's something that a lot of you guys want, but it's really difficult just because of the nature of the video and just the attacking into defenses. You might want to switch pushes, you want to have different operators, that kind of thing. So it's really situational as where that's why I try to avoid the attacking side, but I can try to make one if you guys really want me to. Outside of that, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so before we get into the actual hold for CCTV, I am going to break down the 10 reinforcements that I do suggest. After I break down the reinforcements, I will be showing you guys 5 operators that I think you guys should run. Before we get into that, like I said, let's get into the reinforcements. You want to reinforce these two walls and cache facing towards construction, this wall and cache facing towards top red, this wall from CCTV facing towards garage, these two walls and CCTV facing towards outside, and all 4 of the panels of garage. And in almost no circumstance will you reinforce this wall right here. I've seen countless times where this wall in ranked is reinforced, and unless you're running a full strat that requires you to reinforce this and these 2 walls, you should not reinforce this wall outside of construction. It's useless. Please stop doing it, please. Now that we got the reinforcements out of the way for CCTV site, I'm gonna be covering the 5 operators that I suggest you run. The operators that I do think you should run are Smoke, Jaeger, Wamai, Cade, and Maestro. Each of these operators have their own role and designated location where they end up playing, but I'll be showing you that here soon. But for the first operator that I will be showing you will be Smoke. So let's get into that. You're going to make a rotate here, one hole on each side of the wall here. This is just so you can throw utility and stuff like that. Usually nitros and smokes can go through this, by the way. A head level hole here. You want to avoid making this rotatable, just because you want to either make them use a hard reach or soft reach on it, or have to vault through the window instead of giving them 2 entry points if they do take garage. And open this hatch here. I recommend placing your shield here, facing towards the construction door, and playing about here. The reason you enter your shield there is in case you do back up inevitably and someone's playing a construction door, they're not able to get a gunfight on you. Also, if they do end up doing a split push, you're able to play on the shield and play off of it for kills for anyone trying to push you guys from through construction. But ultimately, your job is pretty simple. You can play on the red stairs. There'll be barbed wire on the red stairs supplied from the Yeager later on. But really, it's pretty simple. You can throw your smokes from this position. This is just the default plant spot that a lot of teams like to go for, and usually they try to tuck and plant here. But when you place your smoke here and light them off, obviously the person here will be gassed and be either forced to get off the plant or die. So it's really easy to throw them from over in this like top red area. Some people like to play inside of cache, but the thing about smokes now is when you throw them, if you throw them high and you try to get them like high, they don't actually dissipate down damage-wise, like the visual comes down. When you're in the actual planning animation, you're somehow like beneath the smoke and it doesn't do damage to you. So it's easier if you're just playing on top of red where you're able to actually use the smokes to the point where they're able to kill the player. But yeah. Now that we covered smoke, we're going to cover the Maestro. Your job here is pretty simple. For camera locations, I suggest putting one here. It's pretty simple. You chop them on the table and place that one up there. And the second one should go here. This one's a little bit more tricky. You have to leave this cache undestroyed, and you have to like hit a running angle to get up there. I'm not gonna lie, it's semi-difficult to do. I'm not the best at it doing it first try, but once you get it once, you kind of get the idea for it. But the reason that you want it up here is just because it has a more elevated angle and you're able to see more of the site with this one. If it was slightly lower or on the wall, they can also try like sledge it and stuff like that. This one's a little bit harder to destroy, and you have an elevated angle, so I should recommend that one a little bit more. And for your location, you'll be playing right about here, just on island. The reason that you're going to be playing here is this wall's going to be reinforced, and if they do a split take and they try to take from the other side of the map, you can impact trick the wall. So, like, say that, for example, they're thermiting or acing or habaning this wall, you can literally just throw your impacts at the ceiling up there, and it'll destroy any like gadget that's on the wall, if it's a thermite, if it's an ace, if anything like that, and you'll be able to destroy the stuff. Like it's pretty simple. But yeah, you just have to. That's the only reason you're gonna be playing here. You're gonna make sure you're on impacts, by the way. But yeah, you're gonna be impact tricking this wall if needed. But outside of that, you're pretty much just playing tucked on island and micromanaging your cameras. So for the next operator we're gonna be covering, it's gonna be Cade. Your job here is relatively simple. You just have to place Cades so they can protect this wall. Some people like to split them for garage, but I prefer protecting the main wall. I feel like it's a lot more influential. And for the Cade locations, as you can see, they're not visible, so I'll be showing you them now. First one goes here. The reason that you want to put this one here is just because a lot of teams like to go below and try to destroy them up. So if you put it up here, it can't really be destroyed from below. The only way they can really get it is if a Twitch drone comes through or they nade this drone hole. And even then, that's a little inconsistent because it actually has to like the nade has to bounce back and land like around this area to actually get that Cade. And for your second Cade, it's gonna go here. This Cade is a little bit harder to detect. A lot of teams when they come in through stock, and or they'll come through blue, and they try to destroy the Cade, like the Cades from below here, like because they know the wall's right there. So more often than not, they actually don't notice that the Cade is just right here on the door. And even if they did know, walking into this door is a little suspect, especially if your entire intention is just to look up for this Cade. Because if you do have anyone playing in garage or rafters, they can easily just be standing on the staircase here, or having anyone playing in bottom garage. It's really just a free kill, so it's just whether or not like the teams know or not. But this is a really good Cade to use to protect the main wall. And for starting position, I suggest just downstairs. I recommend barricading these doorways just because it gives you a little bit more of an early detector side if anyone's pushing up on you. But from downstairs, you're able to not only nitro the default plant spot, but you're also able to help your person in garage, say they're being pressed from below. You're easily able to just walk in and contest anyone on G1, G2, or if anyone's trying to come through the door, you can even back up. If you want to, you can do get a little fancy with it, put some bullet holes in the wall, that kind of thing. Just anything to really help your person on garage, because it's going to be the mine. He's be fighting his demons in there, so if you're able to assist them at all, I think this is probably the best place to do it. Alright, so the next operator that we're going to cover is Wamai. Basically, your job here is to just stay in garage and live. You want to avoid standing too much just because the people outside of the breach are potentially trying to kill you. But if you can sit in the R2 area, pretty much just crouching or laying down, and just staying alive and using your utility through sporadically, so that forces them to waste a lot of time on you. If they do a split take, you're often able to shoot down this door here, and if you impact outside the door, you'll be able to like destroy the claymore and run out on the guy on breach. Usually if they do a split attack, just one person on there. You can coordinate that with your teams if someone swings on the actual wall while you run out of garage, and get a kill there. But more often than not, if they do push garage, you're literally just sitting in garage and just fighting your demons. I cannot lie. If you want to, you can literally just prone and wait for them to try to burn utility to kill you. But as long as you're in this position and staying alive, you're doing your job. Garage is a really good point of attack for a lot of teams, and having garage control is incredibly important. So the longer that you're able to stay alive in garage, the better. I would try to avoid taking any like stupid gunfights just because you don't really have to. But if you, like I said, you're not incredibly inclined to not. Just usually, basically, your job here is just to stay alive in garage and just sit point. All right. Last but not least, we're going to be covering the job of the Jaeger. Let's start with your ADS placements. First one's going to go here in garage rafters to help the WMI. Next one's going to go here on the red wall to cover for the drone hole and any potential thing that comes to this doorway. And the last one's going to go here. It's mostly to protect that shield, but also can help your player who's playing on island if that push comes to shove. Your barbed wire is going to go here on red stairs to help with anyone trying to walk up, and here on garage stairs to help with OMI again, just anyone tries to walk up the staircase. Your playing position is going to be pretty much over here. Basically, each one to be an early deterrent for anyone pushing over here. Say perhaps there's drones or anything like that. Each one to be able to take out early drone picks and just rotate back to site. If they don't end up pushing you or they end up sitting inside the CC window, you're able to rotate to like the gym window per se and hop out. If your teammates do call for it, that kind of thing. But most of the time, you're just going to start off as like an early like soft room. You don't have to play over here for your life. You're just playing over here just to shoot a couple drones and leave. Just to burn a little bit more utilities. That way you have to waste a little more time clearing this if they do end up trying to do a split take. Alright, so the next site that we're going to be covering is going to be the church arsenal site. I'm just going to break down, the 5 operators, everything we did in the last site. But before we get into the actual operators and stuff, just like last time, we're going to cover the 10 reinforcements that I recommend. So yeah. First 3 reinforcements are going to be here on the church wall. The back church wall here, yeah. Next one's going to be here on the west basement hallway wall. Some people like to call this the ash wall. That's what I was thinking about calling it, but I was sure if anyone would understand that reference. So we're going to do the west basement hallway wall closest to main stairs. Then you're going to have here on the both of the two panels from dirt or container, just in the dirt hallway here. But yeah. Next, you're going to have one here on the blue wall. And your last three are going to be on all three hatches. Now that we got the reinforcements out of the way, we're going to cover what we should be doing with the 5 operators. The 5 operators I suggest bringing for the basement or the church arsenal site are Smoke, Malusi, Valk, Jaeger, and Cade. Just like the last set, they all have unique and individual jobs that they all can do, but first job that I'm going to be covering is going to be of the Smoke. For starters, you're going to be making holes here in the church wall leading into blue, here in the blue wall leading into arsenal, here in the arsenal wall from basement hallway, a crouch hole here in the hallway from basement hallway into arsenal, and here for the impact trick. Lastly, you're going to be placing your shield here, just so the person in blue has a little bit of cover to use. For starting position, you're going to play here in dirt. Basically, your job is just to hold out anyone trying to push your dirt. Don't be afraid to use your smokes and stuff like that to slow down any progression that the enemy team might try to make. You also have a Malusi and a Jaeger device in here to give you company and help assist you with that. But for most part, you're going to be holding down dirt. If they don't end up pushing you by I'd say like 1:30 left on the clock, you're free to rotate out. But for the start, like the first minute and a half, I'd like to have you sit in dirt and just try to make sure that they don't push here and shoot any drones or stall any push that tries to come. Next, we're going to be discovering the job of the Malusi. First Banshee is going to be here in church to slow down people trying to push through Moto. Here in secret to slow down people trying to push down these blue stairs. And here inside of dirt to help your smoke with anyone trying to push them out of dirt. For positioning, you're going to play here. I meant to bring impacts, but I forgot. Basically, you're going to sit under the kitchen hatch here. It's going to be reinforced, and if they try to do any time of hard breach on this hatch, you're going to throw your impacts through the hole that the smoke would have made. My gun just doesn't have the destructibility to do this. But you're going to throw your impacts through the hole that your smoke made for you, and just deny any type of hard breach that will be placed on the hatch. Next, we're going to break down the job of the Valkyrie. For your Valcam positions, they're all subject to change, but for the 3 that I would throw personally, they're going to go here on the main stairs. It's kind of hard to see, and for people walking down, it's not really completely visible until you're actually fully through to shoot. It also gives you complete intel on people playing on main stairs. Here in the grate, you just have to throw it through the grate holes. But if you put it back there, it gives you intel on people playing like in anywhere trying to plant inside of Arsenal, say the default plant spot or here. It's also like one of the less check places to see. You also can't play vertical above it. Like above that little cage thing, there's just no vertical. It's under a desk. So there's just no way for them to destroy it from above. The only way they would be able to destroy it is if they came up and actually shot it through the hole. And here in blue, you can throw any variation of blue cam. This is just one that I threw up just for reference. Basically, it's just to give intel for anyone in blue, say you're Yeager or the player who ends up playing here after Yeager dies, and you have no intel in here, you'll have a Valk cam to supply any of the intel needs for anyone pushing through blue. And for starting position, you're going to be about here. The reason you want to start here is for one, to cycle all the cameras in sight. Also, if you make a hole here, you can, that bottom main stairs cam that you threw, which is cam 1. If anyone's playing in this position, you're able to nitro cell them from over the wall and kill them if they are playing there. You have to line it up, back up, line it up, and just throw the nitro cell, kill the person sitting on bottom main stairs. Also, if you want to, you can also come up and nitro the hallway if you have intel, if you want to put a cam up there instead. But usually if you just start in church, it's usually your best bet, because it's the safest position to rotate and cycle cams. Alright, so for next, the job of the Cade, you can try to Cade trick this hatch here. That's what a lot of people like to do, or you can just toss it up there to stay. And for your second Cade, you're really just going to walk over into church. And you could trick the triple wall if you really want to. You can get all 3 panels at once. Or, you, like I said, with the last Cade, you can just leave it there and just have it hatch caded because, you know, Thatcher's kind of always going to be banned. Your positioning is also going to be in church with Valkyrie. You guys can use your nitro cells, like I said, accordingly. You can even nitro bottom main. If you want to play early into Moto and just hold an angle on the staircase for anyone trying to walk down, maybe shoot some drones, you know, that kind of thing, you're more than welcome to do that. But more often than not, you and Valkyrie are going to be like the 2 like church players, while like Malusi and Smoke are kind of holding down Arsenal side, and Yeager in blue. But yeah, it's pretty simple for Cade as well. Last but not least, we're going to cover the job of the Jaeger. For your ADS placements, you're going to place one here in dirt to assist the smoke, here in church to prevent the people inside a church from getting like naded over the wall, and here in blue. You could try to trick this one if, like, for example, you know they're throwing flash grenades before they need you. You can just pick the ADS up and place it back down. You might get flash, which is fine, as long as you don't die to a grenade is really what you're trying to avoid there. So a lot of people like the ADS trick where they pick up and put down the ADS because they know what kind of utility is coming for them. So if you want to try to do that kind of thing. And your barbed wire is not too far, so I don't actually have to jump cut here. It's just going to be in your two hallways here. To assist you for anyone trying to walk down your blue, you have that sound indicator. They'll also be a little bit slow, so if you're trying to take them out, anything like that, you'll have a little bit of an advantage because you know not only know where they are, but you also know that they're going to be forced to be a little bit slower or trying to break your barbed wire, so you're just going to be in a better overall position to take a gunfight because you have the full freedom of movement while they're going to be either slowed and with sound indicator or something like that. Alright, finally time to start on our final site here, which is going to be the gym bedroom site. Before I get into the 5 operators, just like always, I'm going to cover all the reinforcements, so let's get into it. First, you're going to reinforce these 2 jacuzzi walls in the bedroom hallway. Then you're going to reinforce one of the bathroom walls. There's going to be a rotate here. You're going to pocket a reinforcement later on to maybe potentially reinforce this all if they do end up getting the jacuzzi wall or you're not able to hold this area anymore. But yeah, for starters, you're just going to have this one reinforcement reinforced. You're going to reinforce this single construction wall, the one that leads outside. I know I told you guys not to get this one in CCTV, but this is different. You actually need to get this wall because it's actually important. Then you're going to reinforce these 3 cache walls facing towards the red staircase. And lastly, you're going to reinforce these 2 walls here facing from cache into CCTV. Now that we got the reinforcements out of the way, I'm going to cover the 5 operators that I think you should run here. 5 operators that I suggest are Mute, Wamai, Yeager, Valkyrie, and Malusi. All 5 of these operators, like I said, and every other site have an individual job, which I'll explain. But before we get into all those other operators, we can start with one that I'm currently running, which is Mute. So yeah, you're going to have to make a rotate here, accompanied by a line of holes, a rotate here, a head angle here, and while you're ready, you can open the hatch here. Place a mute jammer here on the triple wall and cache, here so it can mute the single construction wall and the cache doorway, here on the construction doorway so they try to drone, and here on the bathroom wall in case they have to reinforce this wall and you want this wall to stay closed. I don't recommend doing it on the outside wall just because they're able to shoot from the window, as where this one's a little bit harder to deal with. For starting position, you're going to start about here in construction. This is so you're able to help your player who's going to be playing inside of cache. You can swing this with your shotgun. If anyone's outside your window and they're unfortunately left too close, you're able to take them out with a quick pump. But yeah, outside of that, you're basically just trying to assist your player in cache to help them live as long as possible and give them any assistance that you're able to give them. Next, we're going to be covering the job of the Valkyrie. For camera positions, you can put one in here, here, and here. All of these cameras are subject to change. These are just 3 that I suggest. That way you're able to get the necessary intel on positions that I'm have you playing, which is going to be down here in bar. Given the location of the 3 cameras, you're able to nitro cell pretty much all 3 of the rooms that I pinged. More often than not, if you're able to, you want to get an early nitro cell on anybody playing inside of the server room here. You'll have the camera in the southwest corner about there to give you intel for anyone playing behind the server rack per se or close in the doorway. But if that's not what you're able to do, for some reason if someone playing in lounge, you're able to play in kitchen. And kitchen is beneath that room in logistics. So if you're able to play in kitchen for logistics camera, you're able to pre-place the nitro cell beneath the people playing in there and nitro there, and obviously you're able to have one in gym for anyone trying to plant in there. But overall, those are just the 3 locations where I'd recommend trying to get a nitro cell kill. So yeah. Next, we're going to be breaking down the job of the Malusi. For your 3 Banshee gadgets, they will go here in logistics for anyone trying to walk through the logi rotate. They'll be there and try to get this control. Here on the bedroom door for anyone trying to come through construction, take this control, they'll be slowed. And here on the cache door for anyone trying to push your Wamai who'll be playing in here, they will also be slowed. Your starting position will be about here. If you want, you can run impacts to help impact shoot this wall. I just happen to have nitro because I keep forgetting to switch. But yeah, you'll be in here. You'll have your rotating stuff made by the mute, so you can rotate back and forth. But basically, yeah, you're gonna be sitting in sight and just kind of feeding your teammates intel if they need to, calling out, hey, they're pushing, and like give your teammates time to rotate back, assisting anywhere you're needed. And you also have this nitro cell if you want to nitro the door, but you also have impacts. Impact trick this wall for, say, example, they open the jacuzzi wall, they're able to destroy your mute somehow. You can impact trick any explosive that they do try to put on this wall with your impacts. Next, we're going to be covering the job of the Wamai. Your job here is really just to fight your demons, I cannot lie. You're basically going to sit inside a cache room, and anyone who tries to contest you, you can either impact trick for the wall, or you can just use your Wamai gadgets to catch any utility they throw at you. You also have an ADS to help you, but basically you're just going to be in here, just burn some time, burn as much time as possible. They're going to try to open your wall somehow, some way. You can also shoot above this wall and impact trick this wall too if needed, but it's completely up to what they're pushing. You can run the other pistol. It'll probably help you better if you're making these holes. If not, you can have your mute help you. But yeah, you're gonna be just sitting in here, impact tricking, and just burning time because a lot of teams do like to full clear from the east side to try to take over to Gym Master. So yeah, you're basically gonna be in here fighting your demons, just pretty much trying to burn as much time as possible. Last but not least, we're gonna be covering the job of the Jaeger. For your ADS positions, you're gonna place one here in the bathroom to help your Melusi, here in logistics, and here in cash room. Your barbed wire is gonna go here on the cash room door, and here on the red stairs. For starting position, I recommend in logistics here. You have a lot of wiggle room. You don't actually have to stay in logistics the whole time. You can walk to main stairs. You can kind of circulate and help your people in construction through the rotate. They'll be here, anything like that. But basically, you're going to be playing for this hatch drop. A lot of people like to drop this hatch whenever they're making their executes. So basically, you can get a pretty like one-way angle here on the hatch. It's not open right now, and I don't think I can open it as Jaeger. But if the hatch was open, if anyone tries to come and peek you, you'll have a big advantage because you'll be able to see them long before they're able to see you. You're also able to rotate around for people pushing construction door, playing on the window. Also help your Melusi if like someone's outside for windows, that kind of thing. You have a lot of wiggle room as Jaeger, but your starting position is going to be in logistics. All right, well that's everything I have for you guys today. I know that these videos have kind of like been random with what maps I should do and stuff like that. But I might make a poll or something below, or make a poll sometime this week to figure out what map you guys want me to do next. It's gonna be it has to be a comp map. I know that some people have asked me to do skyscraper. I can try to do skyscraper. It's just it's not a competitive map, and I don't try to play it that often. I can try to think of some default strats for it, but like I haven't gotten around to it myself really. But I might make a poll either below this video if possible, or I'll have to make like a community poll. So if you guys want to like wait around for that, I'll try to figure out what next map I can do. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.